All right, let's try it that way. Oh my goodness. Wait, I'm gonna have to turn this on. It might echo. Is it gonna echo? Wait, I'm gonna have to turn this on. It might echo. Is it gonna echo? Wait, I'm gonna have to turn this on. It might echo. Amateur. Such an amateur. So for 4 minutes, I've had audio problems. And you think I would go back and clip it to make sure everything's perfect? No. No. It's not about perfection today. It's about just getting this work done. I have like a hair. So this is going to be just a stream of errors. Like there's a hair or something. All right. So graceful. All right, let's just listen to Jesse. And where is he talking?
Where Erica Kirk's mom and Tyler Boyer could be on the board of the same company that TPUSA is sending millions of dollars to, that's not some kind of shady backdoor deal that everybody should be looking into. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So we are going to continue our breakdown of the
What do you think about the whole
audit
Charlie Kirk
that Dank's
thing?
doing, because
It's so
in this
sad.
section right here, he gets into Tyler Boyer. And this is wild, dude. I'm just going to say that right now. There is a partnership that he reveals in this section that is going to break your brain. Bottom line. Bottom line. Okay? Because again, and I will continue to repeat this, keep in mind, Charlie Kirk ordered a Doe-style audit of the books, and then, you know, I'm not smiling about that. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, this is, you want to honestly know what this is like? You want to know what this is like? It's exactly like a movie, like
What's it like?
Knives Out, where you just keep investigating, and every time that you know,
Yes.
get to a new scene, you find out that there's another person
Yes.
who's at this party who had a reason to kill the person who got killed.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, if you really think about it, it's like, well,
But why
he
don't
was-
the police
he was
care?
leaving
That's my
Israel while
that's
he
my
was-
thing.
Jesus, it was
Like,
Israel?
everybody
Like,
has
it
a right to
must
ask
have been
questions.
Israel. And then it's like,
Everybody
the next
has
second,
a
it's
right to know.
Well, he also ordered an internal
Why?
audit at TPUSA. And look at all this money that these guys were taking in the exact way that you hypothesized, Jesse on Fire, when you did that Twitter Spaces, you know, I don't know, a few months ago, and I was like, look, this is how you would rob this place blind, with being, you know, you'd have external contractors, and if you control the purse strings, then you could pay them an astronomical amount of money, they kick you back cash, whatever, literally, basically exactly what they were doing, and, you know, so it's like, Jesus, TPUSA did it themselves, and then it's like, Erica Kirk is a sleeper cell, it's Erica, and then, of course, you've got Tyler Robinson and the little tradie kids, and a culture that people seem to be ignoring, whereby Charlie gets killed and just regular Joes on the street are like, yeah, Charlie's dead, Charlie's dead, Charlie's dead. And it's like, this is
That was sick.
psychopathic.
Yes.
And so,
Psychopathic
yeah,
is a good
Knives
word.
Out. Now, keeping with the theme of this video, I want you, if you believe that Colonel Mustard killed Charlie Kirk with the exploding microphone in the dungeon, I'd like you to subscribe to the channel. If you guys don't know what that reference is, that's Clue. And actually, I
Clue.
don't think that there is a dungeon in Clue. But listen, if you've ever heard of the game or the movie Clue, then you should subscribe to this channel, because I have too. And that means we have a lot in common. And you should also like this video, because it's very helpful to the channel, and I promise you're going to like it. So it's like, you can just like preemptively like it, because I promise you're going to actually like it. All right. So let's get into it right this second. All right, let's go. All right, let's rock and roll, and let's let Danks take it away so we can react to his investigation. And again, real quick, the reason why I like reacting to his stuff is because he is incredible at investigating, and he does not have as much experience
who's
with understanding
Danks?
what
He talks
he's
about
looking at,
Danks
as
a
I do
lot.
openly. He says that.
Let's see if we
He
can
says
find
it. So-
Danks.
So I can actually provide a lot of color to
So we're
stuff
gonna
that's in
go
the videos.
Danks.
In 2011, Tyler Boyer lost 2 condos to
Danks.
Oh, by the way, that is Tyler Boyer. You guys know who Tyler
Oh, there he
Boyer
is.
Right. Tyler Boyer is the COO and the guy who
So let's just
hitched
subscribe
his,
to him.
wagon to
The
front.
original
Closure
gangster.
during a divorce.
Mhm.
He had his wages garnished after a homeowners association sued him for thousands of dollars in unpaid fees. That was his financial situation less than maybe a decade ago, a little over a decade ago. So in 2021, he purchased a $1.95 million urban farm in Mesa, Arizona. The down payment was $650,000. So 10 years later, he's buying homes with 30% down in the multi-million-dollar range. He also has a 2020 Tige ski bet registered under his wife's name that sells up to $200,000 on.
What's a
boat?
ski
Yeah,
bet?
$200,000 ski boat. The
Oh,
actual
ski
only
boat.
thing that matters is how are they getting this money? You know, how is the money going from wherever it was into your bank account, where you're buying $200,000 boats and putting that much money down on a house? I'm just, I mean, we'll get into it because at the end of the day, what would be most interesting to me is if there were specific partnerships with other people in this story that would blow people's minds.
The used market. So what happened between 2011 and 2021? Turning point happened. The Form 990 Part 7 compensation table shows Boyer has received $98,126 in 2018, $327,000 and change in 2020, $280,000 in 2021, $278,000 in 2022, $79,000 in 2023, $337,000 in 2024, and then grand total, that's $1.4 million in disclosed compensation. Look at how.
Okay, so that in and of itself is not that bad. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying $370,000 a year is not a lot. It's a lot, but it's not that much to where, where it would look bad on a.
Please take
on
the
a tax
referenced
form where
image
they're like, "Hey, I
and
thought
put
this was
her
a
in a
nonprofit."
Halloween
If
costume
they got $100 million
in a
you can
Viking
pay your
warrior
executives,
outfit
that
holding
much
a
money.
Halloween coffee
Listen,
mug.
hey, you want to see something crazy? Go look up how much Planned Parenthood CEO makes. Okay, a lot more than that. Like a lot more than that. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, that's neither here nor there. But what is here or there is the other places that he's getting money. How he's, because 370, you're not buying.
So I think we're going to stick with this.
If you're making 370, unless you're.
We're just for like
relatively frugal,
the
it's
whatnot
starting to get a
images
$1.9 million
for the
house.
shows. We're just
Okay.
going to
Your
do
payment
AI
on that is gonna be,
generations.
I don't
It's
know,
just
$8,
easiest that way,
$10,
and it keeps
$8,000 a
everything
month, something like that,
consistent.
on a low side.
So
depending
right
on when
now,
you bought
this
the
is
house,
for
depending on
my-
what year he said, so the rates
My
or whatever.
Halloween
So,
2026.
I mean, that's an $8,000 to $10,000 mortgage right there, and $8,000 to $10,000 a month. Let's call it 9.
Let's see if we like this.
That's $100,000 a year net, right? Just on your house payment, nothing else. $100,000 right there. So if he's making $378 after taxes, what does that turn into? Okay, so what if he's only making $370, then he's paying, I don't know, 50 to 70% of his entire net money on his house payment, if that was the only place that he was getting his money, which it's not.
How those numbers actually stack up. Does your salary fluctuate up and down like that?
Okay.
Does it ever drop from over 300K to under 80K?
This is actually silly, but I
Super
like
suspect
it.
Also, super suspect.
And then jump back up? That pattern raises questions about how compensation is being allocated across different entities. And here's why that matters. When someone's compensation jumps around like that across multiple related organizations,
All
it
right,
can
and now we're going to
indicate
please
compensation
take the over
shifting.
and put
Money
her.
moves from one entity to another to obscure the total amount being paid to an individual or to take an advantage over different reporting requirements.
Yep, and this is exactly what we know that they were doing, or at least that has been reported that they were doing.
I'm gonna probably
They were
change
paying
the image on the
themselves from
mug.
these, like, different organizations, Like even Charlie was making 400 from this one, 400. He was making 1.6 million, but he was paying himself 400 out of 4 different organizations. And again, I am not throwing rocks at these guys at all. Okay, don't twist my words. This is what I would do also, as long as it's not illegal. Now, assuming that don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about what we've listened to so far. There is going to be more that maybe crosses some pretty big lines. But here's the key to understand, okay? When you're talking about guys taking millions of dollars out of a nonprofit, and it's like, what on earth are they doing? Or giving themselves sweetheart deals, or taking $400,000 from this one, $400,000 from this one, okay? the reason why that would sound unethical, okay, is because it's donor money, right? People donate money to TPUSA and they think that that money is going to be going to these events that they do, or it's going to be going to this, going to that, you know, helping campaigns, whatever, right? And then it turns out that the executives are taking tons of this money for themselves, okay? Well, the assumption that that would be doing something out of the ordinary would be an incorrect assumption, okay? A lot of these donors, they donate millions of dollars every year. Millions every year. These are super wealthy donors. Super wealthy. And to them, a person who's running an organization as big and powerful as TPUSA, who is taking $1.6 million a year, that is baby money to them.
Boyer is receiving $337,000 from Turning Point Entity 1 in a year when he's receiving
So this is
$79,000
Jesse
from
on
another.
fire, if I
The
haven't
question is,
said.
what's the total, and is that total being clearly disclosed so donors and regulators can evaluate whether it's even reasonable?
This is
For donors, you might
awesome.
be giving to multiple Turning Point entities thinking you're supporting different programs, but if it's the same person getting paid by
All right,
all
let's
of them,
do this a
your
little bit
donations are
different.
going to the same pocket through different doors. Compensation for nonprofit executives is supposed to be reasonable, but reasonable compared to what exactly? If the compensation is split across multiple entities in ways that make the total hard to calculate, how can anyone determine if it's actually reasonable? Now, let me tell you about his company that he's on the board of and CEO of, Superfeed Technologies, because
Here we go. Okay.
All right, he said, here we
Buckle
go.
up, everybody.
Buckle
that
up.
was an appetizer. This is where we are about to eat a big, fat, bloody, rare steak that has been
A big,
marinating
fat,
in,
bloody, rare steak.
you know, Federal Reserve notes for 2 years, because you're just gonna chomp into it and be like, this tastes like dirty money. It's like, it is. It's exactly what it is. And it's being shared among some very interesting people. You know what I mean? That was a really weird metaphor.
That was really weird,
this
but it
is
was
where the
good.
conflict of interest actually becomes explicit. Superfeed Technologies makes political applications. Their main product is called Early Vote Action, which is designed to help conservative volunteers contact voters. This app collects voter data, including contact information, location data, and political preference.
Look at those names right there. I'm sorry, let me go back just a little bit. Look at those names. Board Chairman Tyler Boyer, okay? Lori Fransby, who is who? Oh, right. That is Erica Kirk's mommy and Charlie Kirk. Okay? And so what that means is the Tyler Boyer and Lori Fransby, Erica's mom, are chopping money that comes into Superfeed. Okay, so just so you're clear, TPUSA, if it pays Superfeed, that money is going to get divided among Tyler, Lori, Charlie Kirk.
Vote Action, which is designed to help conservative volunteers contact voters. This app collects voter data, including contact information, location data, and political preferences. The App Store privacy disclosure says that the data may be used to track you across apps and websites owned by various other companies. Tyler Boyer is the chairman of Superfeed's board, and Turning Point is one of Superfeed's biggest clients.
Okay,
Now,
so I
where it
kind of
gets
like this
explicit
hair.
is that a
I don't like the
TPUSA
crown.
spokesman told reporters that Turning Point gets a discount on Superfeed
This hair is
services
so bad.
in exchange for Boyer's
The
board
rest of it would have
service.
been okay.
So let me repeat that. The nonprofit
I like World Ballet
gets a
Day.
discount in exchange for its COO serving on the vendor's board.
No text.
That is
I'll
the
do a
definition
text.
of quid pro quo.
I mean, kind of. Not. It's the definition of a quid pro quo is like, I do you a favor, you do me a favor, right? Like,
Yeah, he doesn't
and
understand
The
what-
reason why this is so weird is because Turning Point receives. Actually, I guess. You know what? I take that back. This actually is a quid pro quo, kind of.
All right,
They're
so this
saying
one's
that
cute.
because Tyler
Does she have all
Boyer
her
works for
fingers?
TPUSA and is also
'Cause
on the board
sometimes
of Superfeed,
AI
they get a
makes-
discount because Tyler Boyer is like
Yes, I love
supposedly
this.
providing inside.
This one I like.
You know, he's on the board, so he's got to vote for things or whatever on Superfeed, and you know, so basically he's loaning himself out to Superfeed.
And what was the
just
other
to
date that we
support,
had? We had World Ballet Day,
like to
next
give TPUSA,
Halloween.
a
Oh,
discount,
11/11.
right? Except the reason why I said it's not a real quid pro quo is because that's nonsense.
This was
Like, it's
scheduled
absolute nonsense.
November 11th.
You are
Okay,
doing
let's
this because
edit that
you are
time.
controlling TPUSA funds, which you are paying to a company that you own and are on the board of. I mean, I'm sure he owns it, you know. Like, that's what's really going on with Erica Kirk's mom, by the way.
In
So
exchange
weird.
for Boyer's board service. They just admitted it to a reporter, and nobody's picked that up. In 20,
It's because it's not illegal, I don't think, dude. That's what I'm saying. This is hilarious because it's insane. Like this kind of thing. It's insane. I mean, don't you wonder how don't you wonder how people like Ilhan Omar, who's been a congresswoman for like, 5 minutes compared to many of these senators, and now she's worth $30 million. She had no money when she got there. Now she's worth $30 million. $30 million, you guys. Okay? Ask someone who is actually like someone who makes real money. Well, like, I don't know, ask someone who makes $1.5 million a year as an example. Okay? Like we were talking about with Tyler Boyer, where I was like, that's baby money to the big boys. Okay, $1.5 million a year after taxes, after whatever, let's say it's $1 million. Okay, that's let's call it 90,000. Oh, I'm sorry, 90. Well, 125,000.
So did I
gross
save
a month.
that
Sounds like a
one
lot. It is a
too?
lot. It's a huge amount.
Let me see if I saved
30
those.
million? Do you know how long it would take you to save up $30 million if you're making 1.5 million a year? Okay, it would take you 50 years, 60 years. Okay, so just to put it in perspective, how much $30 million is, right? Like I'm telling you, to have a net worth of $30 million.
So there's two right
would
there.
Require a $1.5 million salary for like ever. 30 is an enormous number, enormous. And Ilhan Omar somehow got it. I wonder how she pulled that off, dude. Probably not, because the system is 100% set up for people who are in office to rob it blind. And
I like this.
it's just ridiculous, man. That's why no legislation ever gets passed that would regulate this stuff. Like, do you understand how absurd it is that insider trading is allowed for people in Congress? Like, I know people talk about this, and it's kind of like it's like a conversation, talking point. But I don't think people really grasp how absurd, how insane that is. Okay, let me explain to you for real what this actually means. For those of you who don't really know what it means, okay, I'll give you an example. Martha Stewart. Okay, Martha Stewart, very famous example, who was put in prison for insider trading. What happened was she was invested in some, if I remember correctly, something very close to this. Let's just say, I'm not saying this is exactly right. If it's a little bit different, you guys can write it in the comments. But it's conceptually, this is exactly what happened. She's invested in some pharmaceutical company that is developing a cancer drug or something. Okay, she finds out, someone calls her and tells her, hey, they failed the clinical trial. Okay, like they failed the clinical trial, which means that's going to be really, really, really bad for the stock price when the public news of that hits the market, right? Okay, it's a publicly traded company. So some insider tells this investor, regular investor who owns common shares, that they failed, right? So now Martha Stewart has inside information, okay? So she calls her broker and sells out of that company because she doesn't want to be holding her stock her shares in the company when that information hits the mainstream. So she sells out. She goes to prison for that. That's exactly what she did. Okay. Again, details of exactly like what drug it was or whatever could be a little bit different, but that is exactly what happened. Exactly. And in Congress, okay, so any person who gets an inside tip based on real information that is provided by someone who works for that company, if they trade on that, if they sell or buy or do options or whatever, which I'll get into in a second, they go to prison. Okay. That is how they protect the public markets from manipulation, which is obviously not, there's a lot of manipulation going, but nonetheless, those are the rules. In
I think you
Congress,
explained that
they
well,
have
right?
no rules against them
That's
trading
not what
against,
quid pro.
based on what they know from
Not-
serving in Congress. Example, okay. So let's say that you're on one of these committees, and one of the responsibilities of the committees is to choose a vendor.
Please take the referenced image and help me
provide
figure
cloud
out
servers
an
for
image
some
to
new
use
initiative.
for a show
Okay,
on
and you're gonna
11/11
spend
at
$2 billion.
11/11. Fun
Or
show
let's say
next
$8 billion over
November.
10 years, right? So it's an $8 billion budget that you guys are in charge of. You go to the committee, you guys are listening to the pitches from Azure, from AWS, which is just Microsoft and Amazon, and then Google Cloud. And then you guys decide you're going to go ahead and go with Azure, which is the Microsoft company, okay? It's an $8 billion deal. And so now that you've made that decision, you know that when that information hits the public market, you are going to see a massive increase in Microsoft stock.
All right, let's see what that was a very vague.
Not maybe. It
Let's
is a
see how smart. I don't
1000%
I don't think
certainty
Firefly
that-
is
that
like
Microsoft will have a huge jump in the stock
ChatGPT,
price.
but let's see
right
how
when
far
that
I can
news
get
hits
that
the market,
image.
okay? And in that case, they are completely allowed
Ugh,
to
I said
go
no
on
text.
and trade in any way that they want. They can do call
Yikes.
options, okay? Do you know
It's
what a put or a
close.
call option is? Without getting into the complete, like the mechanics
How about
of it,
we do
you
this?
basically, it's a much riskier investment, okay? If you guess correctly, then you make astronomical money, especially if it's a short-term
put
call option. Okay, so I'm going to explain it really quick, and then I'll show you
in
what kind of swings we're talking
a
about in a short period of time. So basically what a call option, or either a call or a put option is, you are reserving a block of shares that you are going to be able to purchase at a future date, and the date is
For
locked in,
a
and so is the price that you can buy those shares at
show on
that date.
11/11,
So
no
you lose your
text.
entire investment if you're wrong. If it's below the threshold that you have locked in the price for, you can lose the entire investment. But if you're right, the profits are huge, especially if you bet short
In
term.
a, I want to say
just did a whole thing
boho.
breaking down how they
Should I
actually
say
work, and I watched
boho?
it back, and I'm like,
So I don't want it
people
to
are
be
going
like a
turn the
witchy
video off,
outfit. In a
even if other people
boho
are like, man, I never really understood how
outfit.
options work. It was too long. So I apologize.
And
We gotta
a
move on. It's
quaint-
unbelievable how much money you can make if you know for sure what a stock is going to do.
Quaintly
using options.
decorated
And it's totally legal for Congress people to do it,
room.
even though they do know
with
exactly what a stock is going to do, because they are the ones who choose
Magical.
where the U.S. government is going to spend
And a
these
quaintly
enormous amounts
decorated
of money that literally don't exist in many cases
Study.
in other industries. Like, there aren't a lot of people who can
With
spend the amount of money,
books.
or I'm sorry, and many corporations can spend the kind of money that the
And
U.S. government
magical
does. And for Congress, totally illegal.
items.
And they will never make that illegal because they all benefit from it, and self-interest is the driving force behind everything. That's basically people's main issue with capitalism, is they're like, oh, people ultimately, human nature gets the best of them, and then it breaks down whatever, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, so I understand the argument, right? But the reality is, there's no perfect solution
Oh,
for
that's
anything.
kind of
because the
cute. I
opposite of
really
that
wish
is
like there's like
social
one or two
communism,
things
right?
that.
Oh, no one owns anything. We take the profit incentive out of everything, and so everybody gets the
All
same
right,
thing.
here we
It's
go.
fair. We divide it all up. Yada yada yada. Okay. Well, the problem
With
for
books,
everyone is that if you're going to get the same thing,
magical
no matter what,
items,
what motivation do you have to do anything, to excel in anything,
and
to do a
plants
better job, to not show up at work? Okay.
outside.
There is none. There's no incentive for that.
Is
so
a
people do not do
pretty
what people need to do
fall
in order for society to work. And what does that
day.
mean? The only other way to incentivize people to
No
do
text.
things is with fear. Okay? You have to incentivize people with either a carrot or a
I
stick.
kind of like
is
that,
just
but
what it
that
is. In a
I'll
small
probably
economy,
download that.
The motivation can
And
be
maybe I'll
the
change
collective
this,
because you
'cause-
love
but see,
these
look at
people
that.
and you
What
love
is
the
that?
community, because
What
it's
am I, a
small
friggin'
enough that you can
genie?
have genuine feelings for everyone. At a
Oh my
country-sized,
gosh.
group, that is not a thing.
Oh my
Right? It's just
gosh.
not. It's too many people.
There's so much
So
wrong
people do not
with
do what
this
they're
one.
supposed to do because they're
All
not
right,
incentivized
hold on.
with a positive.
How about if
instead
I
they're
put
incentivized with a negative? That's why
boho
people- That's why they
outfit,
kill everybody. I mean, one of the reasons they kill everybody.
hair up in
You know,
a
They kill
messy
them because they're dissidents.
bun.
They killed them because of dissidents, and the other reason is because they are given absolute power. The people, it's so hilarious.
No,
People
I
do
should
not
write no
understand
hat.
communism. Oh my God, it's just so super fair. You know, oh, there's not going to be these tyrants at the top.
Here,
Yeah, right. It's the exact opposite.
Oh, how about if I do this in a
It
messy
makes
bun
the
and a
smaller
purple
group
bandana?
10 times more powerful than what we have now. That's not possible. Yes, it fucking is. Okay, read a history book.
So we're
And I am
gonna.
sorry that you do not understand human nature, but listen, and maybe you'll learn something.
2022, Superfeed's authority to do business in Arizona was revoked completely. The company was employing Kerry Lake and Jeff DeWitt at the time, and a company that couldn't maintain its basic business license was getting paid to run voter data operations. And then,
Hey, getting paid to run voter data operations. What do you think that means? And how much is it worth? You know what I mean? Like, how much do you think that they got paid?
I like this
for
one.
running
Do you like this
voter
one?
Data operations. Charlie.
Why should you go like this?
I
Wait,
mean,
wait.
I feel bad, you know.
Okay,
like,
I'll
'cause
point that way.
I feel bad.
Do you
for
like
Charlie
that
in
one?
This, but this is what we're talking about. This is how this is all done. Tyler Boyer and Erica Kirk. So now Tyler Boyer, Erica Kirk's mom are in on this little number. You know, where they're paying themselves for voter data. And Kerry Lake was also employed there. Okay, because they have $100 million. USA is literally just legal corruption. But anyway,
So
let's
I'm
go ahead
wondering-
and continue. You know what I mean?
I have a
Because
serious
I feel a lot
question.
better about how I make money.
I have a
just
serious
talk,
question.
and people watch my show,
Serious.
and then YouTube is like, "Hey, we put these ads
Was
on your channel," and I'm like,
Charlie
cool.
Kirk's
I read
life-
these ads, and I'm like, "Cool."
What is that, The Truman
And it feels
Show?
all very up and up. I turned
Where
down
Jim
ads all the
Carrey
time. I turned down a very big
was-
number this week, actually. And you can.
They had,
I
like,
might have
this
actually
whole
mentioned
fake
this
life
on
around
my
them.
live stream.
Or is this
I might have
like?
actually mentioned this on my live stream. It was
I
like
don't
8
know.
Gs,
I don't
something
think
like that.
anything
8 Gs. It was-
anybody
I can't-
around
I can't
him is
remember the exact
real.
number. It was less than 10 for sure, and it was definitely more than 7. But whatever. And they wanted me to read an ad. Okay, they wanted me to read an ad that was
That makes me
promoting
sad.
a new flu
This,
vaccine. And I
this,
was like, no way.
this image is
No
perfect.
fucking way. I'm not doing it. There's no way. And by the way, those numbers are way higher than what I get
This
paid.
image is
Like, that's
perfect.
like a
So I think I have all three.
huge
This
number.
one's hilarious.
And I said, no, I'm not reading that ad.
What is
So money where
that?
my mouth is, dude. I turned down that much money for for a 90-second ad because I'm not going to promote a flu vaccine given who I am and what I stand for. I'm not taking the money, Travis Kelce.
another board member is definitely worth mentioning, Lori Franci. She sits on Superfeed's board. She's Charlie Kirk's mother-in-law. So you have Kirk's mother-in-law and Kirk's COO both sitting on the board of a vendor that gets paid by Kirk's nonprofit. See, the problem with that is that in nonprofit governance,
So what if she's
independence actually
holding
matters. When a nonprofit pays a
paper
vendor,
coffee
there should be
cup?
someone checking that the vendor is providing real value at a fair price. That's how you protect donor money. But who's checking Superfeed?
Hey, Tyler Boyer is, dude. Of course. Wait, isn't Tyler Boyer on the board and a partner at Superfeed? Yeah, he is. So he's the one who's supposed to make sure that these deals are on the up and up when he benefits from every dollar that TPUSA pays to Superfeed? Yeah. That doesn't sound right. No, it doesn't sound right, but it is what is happening, you know. But listen, you don't think that he would prioritize self-interest over ethical business, right? Come on. Come on. You don't think that he would, I don't know,
All
be
right.
involved in some kind of...
Wow. I actually need to listen to what he's saying. Not need to, but want to. Let's just pull off of him for a few minutes so that we're not like... And you know what? I have to put this on... You know, I'm just going to tag Jesse on fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has finally done it. President Trump has finally decided to go absolutely scorched earth on all of the far-left, radically progressive sanctuary cities.
Ooh, interesting. But yeah, that's just a little bit too much right now. Let's find out about these meatballs. How to make the softest Italian
There's no
meatballs.
baking, no frying. We just make the meatballs and cook them right in the sauce. And it's really the secret to what makes them so tender. So if you're tired of dry meatballs or you've never made meatballs before, you're in the right place.
No!
Today I'm going to show you how to make tender meatballs just like they make in Italy. And there's a
No.
couple key reasons why they're tender, and I'm going to share that with you today. But the first thing we
Ew.
need to do is make a sauce. So
I'm
the first thing we'll do
horrified.
is heat up a generous amount of olive oil,
I'm horrified.
and we'll add in a few cloves of garlic. We'll
That
allow
looks
the
good.
garlic to infuse the oil.
You should have
build
smushed the
our
garlic
first
first,
level
though.
of flavor.
Smush
It's
it,
very important not to burn the garlic here.
but smush
Once
it.
you smell it, you can add in the tomato passata.
All right, you have 49,000 subscribers, and you didn't know to
Tomato passata is
smush.
pretty much just an unseasoned tomato puree. And this particular one is from Italy.
But they would be horrified
To
that you used your
contrast
garlic
the
that
tomato
way.
passata, we're going to add in some whole peeled crushed
Tag
tomatoes.
Jesse on fire.
That's going to give a little texture
I guess
to
I
the
have to
sauce.
tag this Mr. G out, 'cause, ugh.
There's always a little extra sauce in the jar, so we're going to add in some water.
Some water. Let's add in some water. He sounds
Fill it
like he's
up.
from New Jersey. Giovanni, are you from New
shake it up.
Jersey? Let's see where he's from.
That way nothing goes to waste.
For meatballs. Yeah, it had me, not the. The. Let's see where you're from, Mr. Giovanni.
Alright, so now we'll mix this up. And we'll start adding in some seasonings. We'll season it up with a little salt, black pepper,
I think you're from New Jersey, but like squish your garlic
and a
and
lot of fresh basil.
cook your hamburger first. Dude.
And that's really it. So we're just going to let this simmer now. Going to
Oh,
bring
he
it
looks
up
like he has some
to,
good stuff.
bring
Where
it
are
to a
you?
boil, and then we'll put it on low. And in the meantime, we'll start making the meatballs. So for the meatballs, we have our meat. I have a pound of 85%
Sounds like he's from New
lean beef
Jersey.
and a half a pound of pork. So we're going to do a mix of the meats, which will work well together and
All right.
create a nice texture
I
in the
am
meatballs. I also
getting
have a
sidetracked.
bowl of bread here, which is just some old bread that I removed. I pretty much gutted the bread, and now we're going to rehydrate it with some whole milk. And if you don't have milk, you could use water, but the milk definitely gives a little more rich flavor. So we're just going to let this soak over here. Allow the bread to soak up all that milk. And really what this does is it creates tender
I'm
meatballs.
sorry,
This
I'm
is one
having a
of the
problem
secrets
with-
to creating a soft, tender meatball.
Yeah, alright, you have to go away. Matt, I like you, but here let's listen to Valhalla VFT for a few minutes because on that raw meat into the sauce. Bleh.
Media space is heating up.
Oh, here we go.
Come on, kick me. Okay, do it again. Do it again.
Oh, this is goofy. Oh, this is good,
Okay,
right?
You block it every time. Have a seat.
Alright, we like this one better. We like this one better.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And the conservative social media space is heating up this week as there's an old sheriff back in town. Yes, Dan Tough Guy Bongino has just finished up his time as deputy director of the FBI. And in about 10
I wonder if
months,
he has
his
an
biggest
opinion.
claim to fame there is helping redact and cover up files to protect files. Yes, Dan in his time at the FBI was about as useful as a shit-flavored lollipop, and he's now decided that he's coming back to the
I'm
podcasting,
gonna need an
baby,
adult
and he's
thing on
declared
there.
war on literally everyone
Okay.
who's not Israel first.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
I'm gonna need
And
to
how has
switch
this
over to an
resurgence
adult
back
one
into
for
the social
that.
media space gone so far? Well, it's been an utter disaster, really, as Dan came out swinging, declaring war on everyone, and has now resorted to just blocking everyone on Twitter who's making fun of him. So that's what we're going to talk about in the video today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Let's jump into it. Let's
Let's
take a
jump
look at
into it.
what Dan had to say to everyone else in his first announcements of coming back into the media. Yes, Dan says more today. Stay tuned as I destroy black-pilling life losers and other assorted dipshits. And yes, Dan's letting everybody know he's not going to allow anybody to say anything negative about our greatest ally. As he says here, yes, gatekeeping is absolutely going to happen. There isn't a business, sports team, or organization on earth that would do otherwise if they wanted to succeed. You don't allow cancers into your clubhouse and then plan to win baseball games. You waive them, trade them, or release them. Libs and enemies of our countries understand this. They found a path to fracture our movement from the inside, but only if we cower from it. I will always relish the year of my life serving you all in this incredible administration, but I'm back now.
Edit
The mission
show.
is equally as important. We built this movement. It's ours. And now we're going to take it back. I guess everybody on social media is just very, very confused with Dan right
What
now.
date
I'm not sure-
is
what movement are you talking
Halloween?
that you're going to take back? Is it this movement? Because this is the only thing you're known for.
Cause is dear to your heart.
Cause is dear to my Israel, defense of Israel.
Did he really
Dan
say
has
that?
announced that he's taking back the Make Israel Great Again movement.
All right, so it's a
without
Saturday. That'll be a
realizing
good
that
show
we
to
don't
have
give a
from
shit. You
1313.
can have it, guy. It's like Dan thinks that it's 2016 somehow. It's like he went into a little time capsule in his time in the FBI and thought he was going to come out and just everything would be the same. He would just be okay to go into a position of FBI deputy director and do literally nothing, gain accountability for literally no one. And we know, guys, here's the thing about Dan, is we know, he said himself, he's seen all the Epstein files. He knows what's
Oh,
in there.
so I need
And we
to
know
have
based off
this
the emails
one.
he sent before he was even put in place
So-
that he was willing to bend over, spread his cheeks, and take whatever is necessary.
Let's see
to
what's
protect
going on.
The Epstein files. So I think the entire conservative space is just
All right.
very confused.
Let me
at this
see
tough
if
guy
that-
routine. Because Dan was the
Was that
anti-deep
perfect?
state guy before he went in, and now he's come out what, shilling and simping for the same administration.
Yeah, I understand this rant because, yeah, but I think that the language isn't set for my. Let's do a Virgo 2026 reading. And then let's put so I like Valhalla. Valhalla's really, really good, and I'm gonna link Valhalla. I just don't think it's my language for doing my stuff. So I will link him because I like him. He makes me giggle a lot. But let's also link Baba Jolie. Alright, so I'll add a link for Baba Jolie. But yeah, I'm sitting here with silly cartoons and I just need to not have the language. Not that I'm judging him because I like him. But it's not my language. Because I'm more ladylike. And the dude's definitely not ladylike. Alright, so let's do this. And, oh, I love the colors of this, but let's play with it a bit. So this was made by Firefly. That's part of the Adobe suite. And listen to this lady's voice.
Now this new chapter actually embraces.
Isn't her voice sweet?
But this year it really does hit
Alright,
different.
so
This
what is
your
the
comeback
image
year,
size?
Taking back your life and reclaiming
It's,
your power.
alright, let's
your
see if we
sovereignty.
put this to
Of course,
920.
grounded in a number one vibration, you
Oh.
do not seek this year. You
Cancel
attract.
that.
A magnetic force
I
you
hear
work with,
like a
consume
vehicle
your
running
soul to the
outside.
biggest happening,
It's
and
been
this
running
will
outside
drive
for like a
and
half
dial up
hour. I hope you don't
successful
hear that
goals you've
because
been dedicated to.
it sounds
Now,
like it needs a new
Jupiter's
muffler or
retrograde plays a
something.
very significant role at the beginning of 2026, encouraging you to revisit
So-
anything complete, finish what you started, double down on anything in motion already,
And
of
let's
course,
see if
even
we.
contemplate something bold, daring, and new.
Okay.
Jupiter wants you basically to
Canvas
benefit from all of
size.
your hard
Let's
work,
do
and
this,
it is keeping score. But major
take-
rewards cannot be fully realized, of course, until it moves direct in March. That's when Jupiter increases the auspicious outcomes for the collective and for you personally and the rest of the year ahead.
So let's
Now,
play with
a
these
perfect year
colors
to meet
just
your
a little
soulmate
bit.
if you're hoping
Because I
to,
think the brightness
the
needs
one,
to be
as it were.
adjusted a bit.
Remember, you are the one, so you're in a state of attraction right now. And even if you want
There
to
we
rekindle
go.
that spark
Just
in
a
your
bit.
current relationship, the
So that
stars align
contrast up
to
a little bit
reignite
too.
that flame. Now, astrologically, we
I like that
are
outfit.
on the precipice of change for some time, especially on a global scale. And I almost do not want to delve into the 2026 energy for the year globally, of course, because it will be a chaotic road ahead. We can already see that, especially during February to April, and of course, eclipse seasons. Now, heavyweight planets like Pluto lock fully into Aquarius until 2043. Neptune locks into Aries until 2039, and Uranus returns to Gemini to lock in
Pop.
until 2023.
I like it.
That's a lot. And this
So,
year's
or
lineup
let me show you.
should be taken
Okay,
very,
so
very
here.
seriously. These
Boom.
planets, you know, they tend
It's
to align
beautiful.
during historical
And then that
revolutions,
pops it out.
tech innovation,
I don't
as
want
well
to do
as
anything
conflict.
more.
Now, Saturn and Neptune have been conjunct.
I don't think I
before,
wanna
of
do
course, but
anything
never
more.
recorded at 0 degrees Aries. So this is monumental. This conjunction has collapsed empires in the past.
So-
Triggered civil wars. In fact, when we look back historically, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, they tend
Let's
to
keep
trigger
this.
uprisings like the
I really
Civil
like
Rights
how they did her hair in this
the
one.
American Revolution. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to experience similar events, but it's
I
always
need better
interesting
lights.
to research what kind of revolutions took place during
think if I
these type of alignments,
make that a color
and
behind
what
me.
we might have in store. Now, 0 degrees Aries, an emergence of something brewing. A new era is birthing something radically different from what we are
But
used
let's
to.
do something
New
else.
leaderships, of course, power shifts,
Dang it.
new currency.
So let's go up here to the
communication
image
systems, and
size.
tech
Let's keep the
inventions
image
that will
size.
advance humanity somehow.
And we'll
of course,
keep the
in order
canvas
to
size.
build anew, one must abandon the old.
Are we going to
0
keep the
degrees
canvas
Aries
size
will
or are we
keep
going
us all
to take
guessing
the image
collectively
size
which way humanity pivots. But Pluto
and
in
see
Aquarius,
if we get rid of
that
some
will
of that
endeavor to
top
give power
part?
back to the people. How we move forward collectively with that is totally up to us. Now, as with anything new, there might be glitches as we see switchovers to new systems, power grids overloaded with upgrades.
Let's see what
Even
happens
more
if we
power
do
outages,
this.
Communication system errors and internet disruptions
Crop.
than usual. As systems
And
try
then
to
change
adjust.
the
We've already
image
seen a lot of
size.
that happening even at the beginning of the year, and even last year there as well. Now, also, I see new regulations in the travel industry. being
That might make
implemented in
it
certain
cut it way
countries in the
too
name of
close, but let's
sustainability.
see.
Also, the fire horse comes out to play from February, reinforcing that
Yeah,
rebellious flavor.
the
A
fire
wild
horse in
cannot be
February for
controlled into
Chinese New
something
Year?
it does not favor. It bucks trends and it retains independence. So, on a personal level, these cosmic ingredients help you to remain curious, adventurous, to challenge yourself, try new approaches that are radical, and also a chance to stand firm in your belief systems, as well as offering you an opportunity to reinvent or revamp your life in some way and lean into your inner rebel to rewild. A very auspicious
Oh, it
year
didn't cut it
personally,
funny.
offering lots of good luck, a chance to change your fortune.
I can live with that,
The
except for
things
it's a
are
little
shifting,
off
especially in terms of
center.
physical
So
landscape,
let's just
but the
pull
Earth
that.
itself is also transforming.
Okay. It
Interesting
didn't get
that,
bad at all.
as we
It
move
got
into
actually
the
pretty
winter
good.
season, you know, this card took a
So
long
let's
time to get there
take-
to September. Of course, that's
How
the
is
end
this?
of Leo.
This
season
is
into
182
your season
there.
At the end of August, but as we
And
move
this
into
is,
your
oh,
season, you know, that card took a
164.
long time to come out.
So let's
to
just cut down
deeply in thought during this period about your legacy.
64
and
plus
taking breaks and, you know,
82.
we'll get to that in a moment, but I just thought it was
Right.
interesting that that's the card that took the longest to come out there. So you're doing a lot of cerebral deep dives, shall we
Cut it
say,
right
in
there.
that month there. But as I was saying, the Earth itself is also transforming, so we will see more heightened seismic activity in areas that are not prone to it. But the Ring of Fire will, as usual, elevate in seismic activity. In fact, even the other day, it lit up just after I mentioned it in a reading there. The whole of it lit up. And I see from the Bay of Bengal right around to the South Pacific Ocean, triggering water activity after large Earth events. Notable hotspots will, of course, continue
All right.
to be Turkey. I'm keeping my eye on that.
That's good.
Russia, Japan, and of course Indonesia, Taiwan, and I would say Chile, Mexico area as well. So a lot of areas becoming super active this year. I mean, they tend to be quite active, those areas, but we will see something a bit larger later on. And of course, large volcanoes that have lain dormant for decades, even centuries, will become active again. And unfortunately, extreme weather events will only increase. I mean, I wish it wasn't so. I don't want any of these things to occur, of course, but I gotta tell you what I see. And we will also see unusually large storms, maybe even 3 together that kind of
Oh,
become
and
one
Sleepy Hollow
massive one there.
Sessions. That's in the bottom
Flooding,
right-hand corner.
tornadoes, even in unusual places, and even fire tornadoes will hit the headlines.
A fire tornado. I
It's
looked
like,
that up. That's
a week and a half,
terrible.
2 weeks ago, and yesterday I saw a massive headline there that a fire tornado had kind of like majorly hit headlines. So again, as I said, I don't want to see these things. I don't want them to happen, but you know, when I'm tapping in to give you a collective kind of like yearly thing of what could go on, The energies support these things, and I gotta tell you what I see. Now, of course, economically,
Got rid of the height.
we
I
will
thought I
see
adjusted the
challenges
height.
continue, but in order to come out the other side positively, we must go through, and Neptune and Pluto continue to gang up.
Sounds
on
like that
public figures to
vehicle
expose
that's been
those
running
who are
forever
up to
is
no
finally
good.
leaving.
Time to have a bit of a
I hope that
cleanse
wasn't
in the
annoying
system,
to you
shall
the
we
whole
say,
time.
there in order to purify this year, because it is a number one year. But ultimately, this year actually offers you personally a maverick shift to do something radically different, to plot twist. If old ways
Alright,
are
I
just
think
not
that
working
hair
for you
is
anymore.
back.
The North Node has already
has
forced
to
you
be
to
in the
look at what you have been
glasses.
tolerating that has caused you pain, sadness, or hardship. So, with a smile in your heart, of course, this is
A
the year
smile
you're
in
the
my
dust,
heart.
the gallop
My
up,
heart is
free from it,
smiling.
Take a walk on the wild side. 2026 is your year to just go for it. You know, the universe has got your back to be successful in all that you dedicate yourself to. And in this very act of doing, you reclaim yourself, your sovereignty, your power. 2026 will be the year to remember
I like
to
it.
transcend all that tried to limit you.
I like that
and to
outfit.
Awaken
Outfit's
to
kind of
live your
badass.
best life. And you're starting strong.
I like it.
In January there, I mean, you may have eased your way into the year at the beginning of January. I'm doing this reading on the 11th of January there for you. So you're kind of like nearly midway through January. But your first card is Fecundity, Rain. Your focus on your finances may have been a little bit of a pinch this month there, where you're just trying to get back to some sort of financial strategy and structure there. But this is your predominant card for January, and you're all about growth, expansion this year. So this can be that you're making declarations to self, to declutter, detoxify, get your house in order in some way. But of course, this is about expansion. It's about planting ideas or seeds that will grow. And these can be expansions in many different areas, like your friendship groups, your neighborhood, your money, your career opportunities.
All right, let's
even,
see.
like expanding
So
your
we took it
mind.
from
So I
here,
felt like across the board, you're looking
little
at
doll,
everything this month on how
and
you
then
want
boom,
to
just a
start
little bit of a
something. This is
pop.
you
Not
kind of
like
promising
I like
to
it.
yourself
All
to
right,
start
so
new things, and you're
we're
to
going
really
to
nourish
save
them, and you're really
as.
going to commit to them. So if you're the sort of person who tends to start something, whether it's like you start joining a group, for example.
We're gonna
maybe
put it
sometimes you don't
Halloween.
attend. Can be that you're making a commitment to attend all
That's
of
it.
the group
Halloween.
activity,
Boom.
or
Simple,
you're making a
easy.
commitment to
Don't make it
complete
difficult.
what you started already.
Alright, so we
Remember,
like
in
this.
January,
I like
you're
this
still
a
in the
lot.
year of the snake,
This
okay?
will be
So that
good.
means you're still closing out
So let's
the
put it
cycle
up there.
here, and things really kick off when
Well, let's get all of them
everyone's around
done,
there.
and then
But
we'll be.
Fecundity Rain is basically about, you know, nurturing
So this
your
is going to be
finances,
for
getting back on top of
11/11.
things, and protecting your inner peace. And for
So
some
what
of you,
we're
not
gonna
all of you, some
do
of you could actually be pregnant at this time.
is
and it can be
down
that you're
here, isn't
nourishing
that-
baby on board, or twins, or however many children
So
you're
we're
having
just
there.
gonna make this
Congratulations
a
if that is
height
you.
thing.
Okay, I definitely see here that
Wait, what do we have going
it will
on here?
transform
This
your life,
is
and you may be
not.
making some adjustments during this month in
What do we
order
have?
to
So this
grow with
is
baby, as it were. But of course, not
425.
everybody is pregnant. I just saw that.
And this is
in their
408.
energy.
See,
But
just off
it's number
by a
85.
hair.
When you reduce this number, 3 plus 5 is 8, you're
So
making
we're
a
gonna go
declaration to self. 8 is the number of
408.
the self. So
See where that
I feel like
pulls
this
in.
year, the conditions of greater prosperity will be met for you. And know that all will be well. This is a big month
There
to
we go.
cleanse yourself of old, outdated views. But on a practical
Crop.
level, this could be that, of course, you are
408.
setting healthier boundaries there. You're promising yourself not to slip back into old cycles. A lot of you could be detoxifying, cutting something out at this time, and really making sure.
Honestly,
that you're
I
not
really like how the
fall back
hair's
into
done.
Some sort of cycle of repeat. Now, of course, this is
I
an
don't
energy of
usually
having
do
everything you need to
but
grow and expand
yes.
in areas that you want to focus on. So
I
a
know.
lot of you are
I just put a
adopting,
clip in,
like, new mindsets,
and I'm done.
and focusing on
Maybe
new
I can tie a
experiences.
bandana
You want
once
something
or
different,
twice.
Something bold, something daring. So
Woof
you could
the
be
hair up.
Pointing things in your diary this year, of things that you're really interested in or you're curious about. Remember, a seed
Image
is always like that
size.
first thought. So it could be that if you've always had a
So
yearning to do
let's.
something,
The height
you're
is
searching it. Booking
1248.
it. You're making it happen. No more sitting there and dreaming about doing it. This is a period of action.
So let's just
And of
cut.
course,
All right.
this card,
So the
Fecundity
width
Rain means you are brainstorming
needs
new
to
ways
be
to compound wealth
1080.
or make your finances grow. I mean, I've got to be honest with you.
Okay.
As I said here, a lot of you may be trying to make
And now
a
we
little
need
go
to
a long
cut
way
this
month,
down
either some excess spending from the
height-wise.
month before, or it can be that, you know,
wait.
that you're just looking for new
Wait,
money-making opportunities.
cancel.
And I feel
What
this
just
is about
happened?
you making your resources go a long way.
Did I
so
just
you
mess
can
up with the
get, so you
height
got
and
paid
width?
earlier
Did
in
I-
December,
Image
maybe you have to
size?
stretch out a certain amount of money and try
Height,
to make it go
1280.
as far
The
as
width
it
needs
can
to be,
before
so that
you
should have
get
been bigger, right?
replenishing your finances
Maybe I
when
put
you
it in the wrong
get,
spot.
for example.
Maybe I did the
And for
height
some of
that
you,
way.
If you come to this reading and
Probably.
you're currently
That
searching
would
for a
make sense
job,
for the numbers
feel
we
like
just
you
saw.
renew your search there. but
So
there's definitely
canvas
something brewing
size.
there for
Now let's
you.
go.
I see a new money-making opportunity
Oh, shoot.
role here
I
that feels very
see.
fresh and different.
I see,
Feels like you get to
said the
migrate your
blind
skills
man.
into this role. Definitely a sector that you're curious about.
1920.
There may be many new aspects about it, so you may
Cancel.
learn new
So we're gonna go
systems
this
or
way.
maybe even new knowledge
Image
that will
size.
help you grow.
That's
The
why.
role
I made
on
it
its way to you
1080,
in
but it
January
wasn't
there. And I gotta say
1920.
this, so
Now
that
it's
there, okay, there really is
1255.
something to flip
Okay.
before you start.
So now we're
What I
gonna
mean
cut
by
a lot of that
can be
background
the
out.
start
That's
date
okay.
changes, or there is some
So image
kind of
size.
challenge in February
canvas size.
there on starting.
Now we're gonna make
it
it
doesn't impact you in any shape or form, really. It could be
1080.
frustrating, okay, so it could be that there is some confusion
Boom.
about a start date,
Proceed.
or perhaps there is a reschedule of
Alright,
a start
that
date,
didn't
or
screw it
perhaps
up at
they
all.
even ask you to come in earlier. I'm not sure. Could even be something regarding the contract that needs to be revised.
1111, nice fall background.
To the small print, because there's an energy here of being
Yeah, we can
sort of
live with this.
surprised in February, and I feel it's somehow connected to the January. So I would say
I like
there was
this.
a job spec where they
did a
expect
good
you to
job with
kind of
this
like
one.
hit certain targets or do certain things in this role. There could be something hidden or something that they didn't list as an expectation, and of course perhaps there needs to be a bit of, you know, head-to-head on that. So I don't see anything negative after that. I feel like there's a clearing of the air. That's what this card literally means. Okay, but there could be some sort of misunderstanding regarding a start in a new role. Okay, so whether it is you were told by one person you start on next Monday, right, and then you get like an official letter or document that says we welcome you to the company and we can't wait.
So now
have
let's
you
go to the
on
brightness and
February, something like that.
contrast.
You're like,
Let's
oh,
throw the brightness up.
which one is it? So clarify,
Opposite.
clarify in the month of January. You don't want any surprises.
Let's do the
and it will actually
contrast.
kind of nullify whatever this surprise is. Okay, so just coming out there. But
There we
I feel
go.
a lot of you are just back on the money making focus, as it
Aw,
were.
I like
You may
it.
even move money around during this month, and some of you may
They did a good
actually
job.
launch new things. This is the seed of an idea. So new technology, new apps, new banking devices.
I wanted to do
for example.
vibrance.
So it could be that you're opening up new accounts, financial accounts, where you get a better yield.
Here we go.
Or there's a financial incentive to move an account. So it could be that,
Perfect.
you know, if you
Perfect.
join this financial institution, they give you some sort of
We might
like,
just
financial
tweak-
incentive, like
tweak
$100, or they
color
they
balance just a little
investments in
bit.
stock or something like that. I don't know anything about that, but maybe there's something new
Nice.
here that you're interested in. That
I don't
could be
think
a
I wanna
financial
play
deal.
with-
Always get good advice by someone who is qualified in the industry to give you that advice, because you don't want to miss that. And I don't
Let's see what
any
zero
missteps
does.
here, but there could be, as I said,
We're gonna do
this
zero. We're not
crossover
gonna play with
thinking
any of the other ones, I
in
don't think.
February, where there's a misunderstanding or a moment where you're like, oh, I didn't realize that. You have to revise it, whatever it is.
So let's
okay?
see.
Again, it doesn't feel negative, because
And
you know,
boom.
it clears the
Yep,
air.
just enough.
You get clear on it. Okay?
Perfect.
So that's coming out there as well. Now, if you're retired,
So,
this is a period of you really leaning into
let's-
who you are and what it is you
Let's
really want
just
to do
finish
this
it right
year.
there.
Some of you,
I don't wanna do
whether you're
anything
retired
with
or
it.
not, actually, I feel there's new hobbies, you know, new ventures bubbling up here, new ideas, and I definitely see.
And
here
we're
that
gonna
a lot of you
do-
could
we're just
be,
gonna call this
thinking about
11.
saving plans in order to book a vacation. So you
11,
may book a vacation during this period, even
and
if
then
it's on a credit card or
underscore
something here.
11,
something to look forward
colon,
to is what I
11.
got here. But a lot of you maintain
There we go.
a
That's what we're gonna call it.
in
11,
the
11,
January
11,
investing
11. And
structure.
it's not a valid
You know,
file
when you
name.
think about fecundity,
Which
rain,
makes
rain
sense.
is nourishing. We need rain in order to nourish projects like agricultural projects and, you know, things like that. So if you think about it symbolically, a lot of you are kind of like
Perfect.
back to work, back into some sort of system to keep growth going or keep the momentum going.
And
as
now
it were.
this is
You
so
definitely see here
plain
that you
compared
are
to the
fighting
other ones, but I
against
really
the
like
really
how this
conquer
looks.
2026, but this is a bit
So
more
let's
of a
just
slower
leave this
pace.
exactly the
So
way
maybe
that
you're
it is,
ruminating,
even though
maybe
it's,
that you are plot pointing, planting
the other ones
seeds.
were
If
so
you run
much
your own
better,
business, this could be that you've got new ideas for growth and expansion in your business, or you could be
but we're
launching
we're gonna
something
keep this.
a little bit later on in
We're
the
gonna get
year,
rid of the light.
this is the idea.
image
Or it
crop.
could be like a new goods or service or something there.
And so
where you're thinking about
ballerinas
launching
should
something new
never
and
be
it
cut
brings
off
in more
with the
money.
video.
A
It
lot
looks
of
so
you, if you
terrible
are
when they like do
working
just their feet
in
or just their
company
top.
for other people, it can be
And
that
we're
you are thinking
going
about
to
expansion in
image
different sectors
size.
or new money-making opportunities like promotions.
19,
These
20.
really won't start until April for you, is what I'm seeing for a lot of you, okay? But it doesn't mean you're not working towards it. There could be talk about some sort of promotion there or opportunities to branch out in some way, because the name of the game for you this year is growth. Okay?
Vehicle.
Also,
What is
there's
going
a lot
on
of
with that
cleansing
vehicle?
going on there after a period of excess. Let me see what else I got coming through there for you. We have the Hangman, yeah, easing your way in,
So
doing
we're
a lot
gonna
of thinking,
cut
ruminating.
this
A lot of you could have some secret projects in the works there
canvas-wise
with that High Priestess. But this is
this
about
way.
believing in yourself. And as I said,
I'm not sure
it
if we're
feels like
keeping
you've
this
been
vehicle
easing your
because it's
way
not
in.
vibrant and it
Doesn't mean you're
doesn't
not
really
busy. I
pop.
feel like you're getting back into the
But it's a
rhythm.
World Ballet
With the
Day,
Hangman,
so
I feel new knowledge. A lot of you downloading courses. Some of you, these could be courses connected to self-help. It could be, you know,
I want a little bit
mindfulness
less of
in
the dress
environment,
cut
or
off.
knowing
So
your
let's
mind,
undo
developing
that.
your spiritual awareness,
See,
connecting
that
to your higher
actually
self,
looks
just
pretty
knowing
like that.
Things are going to be really great for you this year, and there's no need to rush because what is meant for you will never pass you by. I feel also some of you could be sitting on a secret, or you may get some information that is really valuable to you in January that sets you up for the rest of the year there. But the surrender is like the energy of moving into a new year and recognizing that this is your year to turn things upside down with new knowledge. Hangman is always new information. It's about releasing restrictions and, you know, not holding back. It's a time where, you know, yes, you're getting back into the flow, but you're not forcing the energy. And of course, some of you, this is research and development, reviewing how far you've come with that High Priestess energy and looking at the missing ingredient in your life so that you can face your future and prioritize what is necessary. And it feels very much like this is a blank canvas. But also some of you are deep in thought about your direction. You've got a maze on that card. So it can be there's certain areas of your life where you feel are not fulfilled and you're being really honest with
Okay,
yourself.
we're gonna
I
keep
feel
this
like
one.
there is this
It doesn't
kind of
give me the warm
cerebral,
feels,
thoughtful energy of
but
you in January, kind of like looking at all the
it's
things
for
that you
World
really
Ballet
want
Day, so
to
it's
inspire
very
you.
self-explanatory.
This can get overwhelming. You're going to achieve it. I see a lot of going on here. I'm really excited for you, in fact. There's a lot of exploration. There's a lot of moments of pause in order to take the next leap. There's a lot of success points looking at your energy this year, and I just feel like don't overwhelm yourself. You're setting intentions January, and you're on a mission, and you're going to complete that mission to turn your life around in some way and build on what you have been building already. But there's lots of new growth there, lots of exciting things. Now also, some of you may decide to grow your own food or herbs during this period. Not all of you, of course, but this can be that you're eating in a different way, and I feel that this is about keeping an eye on your diet or activities in some way.
All right, so see, let's see what that did.
Really focusing on your health, of course, and getting out into nature there. There's also something coming through about, like, even if it's raining, and this may not resonate with all of you. I mean, this, if I was a Virgo, this would not resonate with me. I'm just saying this, but, you know, if you've made a declaration to self to go out, like, on a fun run or on a run every day, at a certain time and be really focused and diligent at doing it. You know, you're the sort of person, you show up for yourself, bring your A game, you're doing it, okay? But if it was me and it was raining, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll wait till tomorrow, okay? But I feel like you're, even like, no matter the conditions, you're still focused on your personal development, your growth, and, you know, being active and doing what you've got to do, okay? Brain is purifying. So,
All right, I'm gonna be right back. Hear it? I told you I heard that vehicle running for a really long time. Brum, brum, brum. I'm not annoyed by it. I just was hoping it wasn't annoying you. Bean. Oh, I have starting soon. I didn't add be right back. That doesn't sound like me. Oh, there we go. But it's in the background. So that's boom, 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 boom. Oh, wait. What did I do? How did that happen? I just took everything out of order. Oh well. Now I have to get below that snowman. Get below the snowman. Get below the snowman. There we go. Now we're going to go to our Be Right Back screen, and I don't know how I chose that other one. And we're going to take Be Right Back, and we're going to be right back. Okay, I will be right back. And you can listen to the crackling fire of the Sleepy Hollow Sessions video. Bottom right hand corner. Sleepy Hollow Sessions. So back here, oh, let me turn this off. So back here, Brownville's food pantry for deer. This is the pond view. So cute. There's like deer. I work during the day and I listen to this as our adorable. And let me put that on today's show notes also. And then background. And then I'm just going to write deer because I will remember. All right, so where are we? She said we're in January. Were we in January? Oh, hold on. So it sounds like I'm going to have a good reading for January. And we're just going to use this. I don't like, I want to get to later. So we're just going to, we saved it as ballet day. Boom. And then this is the background that I'm using now. I already created it. Boom. So I like how that looks together. And then this was a retro banner because I was going to put work with me chat, see how I started dyeing it blue. But then I ran out of time, so I might do that at another time. No, don't save that. And then this is my merging scenes. So we're going to turn this off for right now. We're just going to leave that like that. And then we're going to go to Whatnot and put our show's images. So that show, save that show. I think, no, this isn't the one I wanted. Add a photo, and I think we did Halloween. I'll have to delete the originals. No need to save them. There we go. Halloween, right there. So we're going to open it. Is that Halloween? Make sure I have that right. Yeah, Halloween 2026. Save show. And then we're going to edit World Ballet Day. Oh, I want to make sure the moderator is in that other show. So here's World Ballet Day. Open. And then we're just going to save this show. Let's go back and see if we, on the Halloween one, I put my mod. Nope, see, I didn't think I saw that. So I'm not really, it's not an outside mod, it's just my little R2-D2. I called it K2T2. because I'm corny like that. And let's edit the show. And okay, there it is. So let's put 11:11, and we're going to open this. So we're going to save the show there. Now, when we look at my shows, oh, I want to look at my profile. Okay, sorry. Wait, they didn't update? Oh, I ran into that problem before. I wasn't able to update this stuff on my desktop. I had to email them to myself so that I could do it on my only on the corrections. I remember that. Oh, shoot. So let me just, I don't want to email. I don't want to open up my email here. All right. So then I'm going to put on this little show notes thing where I'm going to have to email Halloween Ballet and 11:11. Okay. And we're going to go back to Firefly. Oh, let's listen to Baba Jolie. Baba Jolie guided messages. That's who she is. I'm like, I want to look to see if we can have something that's like a weird story, because I like listen to this really tragic, weird thing today. And I don't want it like tragic, but how to make Pizza Huts. Ew. I don't want to make Pizza Hut things. Why? I left my dream homestead. Well, let's see what he's talking about there.
2 weeks ago, I turned in a piece of artwork, a seed packet art that I designed for our bok choy variety called Toy Choy. And that might sound like a non sequitur from the title of this video, but 6 months prior to that, I did not really know how to draw, let alone watercolor and use colored pencil. And honestly, 6 months ago, I straight up did not want to be around anymore. I wanted to be in my compost bin, rotting away, turning into fertilizer for these plants here. And that kind of brings us to this channel and personal update. And I don't do these very often. I think I've only ever done it twice in the history of me being on YouTube, which would be 13 years now. I started the channel in 2013 and our other channels around 2020, 2021 or so. I did one video a couple years ago for you guys called Epic Gardening is Changing. And then a couple months back on my Epic Homesteading channel, I did a video called I Might Leave the Homestead. And that kind of brings us to the title of this video. I have left this homestead. I no longer live here as my primary residence, which is weird to say, because 5 years ago when I bought this place, not only did I think I'd live here for quite a while, it's been 5 years, but I thought I'd live here for longer. I also thought that this is kind of all I ever needed or wanted in my life. But 5 years ago was the start of really a lot of crazy things in the world and also in the journey of epic gardening. So what I'll talk to you about is a little personal, but I think it's important to talk about because I don't see this talked about all that often on YouTube, especially from channels that are about gardening or woodworking or cooking or any of these sort of topics that
He has
YouTube
4 billion
But starting in the summer
subscribers.
of 2024, I
Holy
began
smokes.
having serious levels of panic attacks. I'd had them since 2021, maybe a couple of years. So I was like, okay, whatever.
Look
that's
at that.
just
He has
dealing
4
with life
million
and business and all that.
subscribers.
But no, in 2024, the summer, I started having them at least every day, if not more than one a day. And it got to a point where I
simply did not see a way out. I didn't see an end to the panic. And I'm talking like if someone put a loaded gun to your head and said, I'm going to kill you, how would you feel? That's how it felt every single time. Every single time. Obviously not about someone putting a gun to my head, but at that level of severity, no matter what the trigger was. And so it got to a point where my birthday was coming up that summer. It was August of that summer. And a friend of mine worked at the Padres. And he said, hey, do you want to throw the first pitch out at the Padres game? And I'm a San Diego local. You guys know this. Zone 10B for life, right? And so I go, of course, that'd be a dream. So I work on my pitch. They give me a custom jersey. I invite my family and friends out. And we all enjoy the game. And I'm going to go out and throw my big pitch. And the entire day, panic attack, dissociation, derealization, all these words that I've unfortunately had the gift of learning now, that's happening the whole day. I did go out and throw the pitch, and it was a strike, and the woman who helped me said it was the best pitch that they've seen all season. But that being said, mentally, I was not there the whole day. And then the next day happened. I go to the gym, I walk up 3 little steps.
And reseller.
Like a little bumper of a curb type step. We're not talking any sort of exertion at all here.
Home touches
My heart,
and
I start
reseller.
going out of breath. I go, what is going on? I check my pulse. My pulse is not regular. It is like beating off beat. It's skipping beats. It's feeling weird. I don't feel good. I start feeling nauseous. I don't feel right. I go, I need to go to the urgent care right now. I drive myself to urgent care, and they go,
I put it in the
"You know
wrong
what?
size."
You're in something called atrial fibrillation, and my heart sank.
Atrial
Metaphorically. In real life, it was
fibrillation.
beating irregularly, atrial fib. But my heart sank because when I was 13, my dad died. And he died from effectively a heart condition.
Oh, I kind of like this.
Onset from atrial fib when he was 37. He died at 44. I was 37 when this happened. My birthday was right before my birthday when I turned 38. I had atrial fib now. So they said, you need to go to the ER. They strapped me in an ambulance, which is they drastically overcharged for. They put me in the hospital, at least, I think it was for one night. They were going to have to do what's called a cardioversion, where they put you under general anesthetic, stick something down your throat, and hit your heart with a paddle from the inside of your body.
What?
And I was like, that sounds bad to me. I don't like the sound of that. I was very fortunate that I dropped back into what's called sinus rhythm overnight. But ever since then, I've had to take what's called a beta blocker. And man, the getting used to period of a beta
This
blocker
is really good.
rough. Fatigue went like crazy. Could barely get up off the couch. Meanwhile, all the panic is still happening every single day. And I start going, is this the end for me? Like, is this how this is all going to end up? Is this how life's going to be now? Am I just this little couch boy and I can't do anything? And I started gaining weight. That does not help you feel better in your life. I started having problems sleeping. I was already having problems sleeping. Lo and behold, I only found this out this summer. Sleep apnea. Also have that. My dad had that. That was part of what caused the atrial fib, which causes death. So I say, this is really bad. This is really bad. And when all these things start to pile up on you, you go, I don't think this is going to end. And when something doesn't end for long enough, there's only one way you could think to get out. So those ideas start to come in. And I go, I don't like that these ideas are coming in. I even Googled, I said, how do you know if it's too much you're thinking about it? There's a scale, I guess. There's a whole scale. And I was at like a 3 or a 4 out of 5. It was too high. And so I had to start making changes. And one of the changes that I had to make is I had to leave this homestead, because the entirety of my life, and I'm like halfway through life now, I guess, I've more or less worked from my home. I've had other jobs, but even those jobs were somewhat remote or hybrid. I started to realize, I've lived my whole life living and working from my house. This place, I built this house to be what I wanted it to be. I have my outdoor shower, I have my garden, I have my 35 fruit trees, I have my chickens. How could I possibly leave such a place? Especially when I share it with all of you guys all the time, and we teach you how to grow plants and have fun. But the truth is, it became like a weird prison almost. Like I was stuck here, I didn't want to be here, but I did, but I had to, but I didn't want to. And so I said, I have to make a change. And so I no longer live here at the homestead because I need separation from what has now become, Epic Gardening has really now become a very large company with amazing, wonderful, big team. We're multi-locations. We have a whole warehouse in Denver, 60,000 square foot warehouse in Denver, where our team is crushing out seed packets for you guys all the time. And so I said, you know what, I need to make a change. So I don't live here at the homestead anymore. I wanted to come on and tell you that because when you see my videos now and our videos, I want you to know the story of Epic. Started as a small thing, became a little bit bigger, became bigger. We got this place, became way bigger, and I had a crash out, physical, mental, emotional crash out, the likes I'd never seen, I never thought I was even capable of having. And now I have such a deeper level of understanding for when someone says stress, anxiety, burnout, etc. I've experienced it to some of the highest levels of people that I know now. And if you are experiencing that, I will say that you can get to the other side. I'm not certainly back in the clear or anything like that, but when you feel like it isn't going to end, it will eventually end. It does actually end. There is a way to make it stop without doing.
This
the
is
ultimate
depressing.
thing. You
I'm
don't
so
want to be doing
sorry
okay?
that.
And so you got to do
I'm
whatever
kinda,
you can do.
like, how does he
to
have?
try and get better from that. And I did everything I could do. I tried so
I'm
many
glad
different
he's
solutions.
discussing it.
I did end up going on an SSRI for 6 months to just make it stop for a little bit. I couldn't function without having panic. And so I had to eventually do it. I was so against it. And I'm thankful that I was able to taper off. I'm back off of them now. But I needed it at that moment in time. I think that's okay. I think it's okay to say that. So that's the personal update. But there are some business updates to Epic Gardening that I wanted to share with you that I'm actually really excited about. So, you know, over the last year, I think you guys have probably seen us do more sponsored integrations here on this channel. And I don't think there's really anything wrong with doing that. We did do maybe more than I would have liked. But to be honest, it does help pay for the team that helps make these videos. That being said, I'm going to be cutting a lot of that back this year. Why? Not because I didn't like the products. Everything we've ever promoted here on Epic, I've used and I've enjoyed. That's why we promoted it. I think I've said
Hear
no
that
to
car?
about 90%
Maybe
of
they're
all
working
brands
on
that
it.
have ever come through the channel, to the tune of probably multiple millions of dollars at this point. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to put stuff out there that I don't use. That being said, I do want to put out content that is more aligned with what you guys want to watch. And I skip through some of these videos too, guys. If it's a sponsorship that I don't care about, I'm skipping it, right? And so what we're going to do this year is we're going to move more towards official partners of Epic. If there's a soil we love, if there's a chicken feed we love, if there's tools we love that we don't make ourselves, we're going to probably partner with brands that we really love and we can use. And honestly, the funding that they provide us allows us to make even better and more ambitious content for you guys. So you're going to see some of that coming up, and I hope you find it refreshing. I certainly will find it refreshing myself, but I think it should unlock some really cool content. So the second thing I want to talk about as far as business goes is kind of how it works. How does this business actually work? I mean, we try to make amazing content for you guys that helps you grow. We don't really care if you decide to support us after that, because our whole mission as a company is we exist to help you grow. If that's watching a video and moving on and never watching us again and never purchasing the products that we offer, we still fulfilled our mission technically. If we helped you grow, that's good with us. That being said, the business is powered by your guys' support of purchasing our seeds at Botanical Interests, whether it's online or in the 5,000 plus stores that carry us. It's supported by purchasing our Epic raised beds, our seed starting trays, and some of the other products we offer. That being said, I don't think we've done a good enough job in the last year or so coming out with products that make gardening easier, more enjoyable, more accessible, or more fun for you guys. And that's what we're really focused on this year. So you're going to see some.
I'm not
awesome
liking
products
this
come
image
out. I'm
only
very
because it's
excited
like
about some
kind of
of them.
weird.
I haven't seen them in the gardening
So let's
market. We're trying to solve
just try to make
real
another
problems,
image.
like we have with the beds. We did when we introduced our seed trays. Our seeds are
It just didn't
fantastic.
pull
We're
off
trying to put out
right.
some really high-quality
Please
stuff
take the
and some
reference
new
image and
categories
put
that
her
I
in
think you're
front
going
of
to
a
be excited
clothing
about.
rack.
So when those come out, we're going to be loud about it. We're going to
We're
talk about it
back
here on the channel.
towards
We're
the
going to be very
camera.
proud of what we've put out, and hopefully you guys enjoy
How
that
would we
as
do
well.
it this
so stay
way?
tuned for some of that. And then there's the note of where am I going to show up here on the
In front of a clothing
I remember a
rack.
couple years ago I put out the videos saying Epic Gardening's changing and you're going to see more faces. And you have over the last couple years, and I hope you've enjoyed. Jock showing up a lot more on the channel. We've got Shani showing up a lot from Florida Food Forest. Gardner Scott's been showing up. Graylin, Meg, Aaron, all these...
So I am Coach Colin. He always does good work. Oh, that was me. I was just like, hey, that's a cool little thing. And then it just turned out to be me. So weird. So weird. Yeah, Dilbert, Scott Adams, he passed. He died of colon cancer. He was fighting it. He really was. He was fighting it. It's a shame. Homemade dog food recipe. Let's do this.
Hi, baby.
Hi,
I'm
baby.
getting ready to cook you up some food. Are you
Aw.
hungry?
It's always.
Oh, I bet you are.
It's a lab. Labs
I
are always
bet
hungry.
You are. Good girl. Good girl. Hello, welcome back to the Buck Stop. Today we're going to do something a little different, something a little special. At least it's special to my dog Sable. So a few videos back, I spoke about how I ordered for the first time Farmer's Dog, and the box came damaged. The box was damaged, the food was still good, there was nothing wrong with it. It just got a little wet and it broke apart. It was still a little disappointing that the food came in a broken box on my first time ordering this, so that was a little disappointing. But the second disappointment came when the auto delivery that I signed up for with Farmer's Dog, the food didn't arrive before I ran out of the first delivery, if that makes sense. So when I contacted Farmer's Dog, they apologized profusely, and what they said was, we're going to provide you a recipe to make your own dog food to hold Sable over for a couple of days until the second delivery arrived. Well, it got me thinking, this could potentially happen again. And if they're going to provide me the recipe, well, why don't I make it myself anyway, since I'm going to do it? Well, when I did make it myself, I found out that actually making it myself, although time consuming, it's cheaper to make it myself. Plus, I have first-hand knowledge of exactly what's going into my dear dog's food. And as I stated, it's not that hard to do.
When my
Now,
dog got sick, I started
will
cooking
say,
for them.
I've
I
done
really
this
wish that I
the
would have
last few weeks, and I started making it on the
figured out to
I'm so
cook
proud
for him
of this
before
pot.
he got sick.
We actually blended
Heartbreaking.
it, so it was more manageable for the dog for Sable to eat. And it was a lot of work, a lot of effort, and there was a lot of bowls and a lot of mess. We finally went out and bought something that made life a lot easier, and it's the Instapot. This 8-quart Instapot is big enough for a single week's worth of food, but I like to make 2 weeks worth of food, so I double the recipe. It requires me to do 2 steps. The first step is
I'm
cooking
gonna
all the
change
meat.
the
Second step is
size
cooking all the vegetables, and then they're cooked perfectly.
to
and then they're all- Cooking an
916.
Instapot is 25 minutes to cook all the meat, and then an additional 25 minutes to cook all the vegetables. But there is a little bit of prep work, like I've already cut up the potatoes, and I cut up the carrots. I also cut up the beef liver, that's also in this recipe. But anyway, as I stated, these are all the ingredients. So what we have here is 12 pounds of ground turkey. I've got a bag of frozen green beans, frozen bag of green peas. Then this is actually a double serving of spinach, this 1 can of pumpkin puree, a sprinkle of turmeric at the end, 4 carrots, so 8 carrots.
We're gonna subscribe
2
to
sweet
him,
potatoes, so here's 4 sweet
and I'm gonna
potatoes.
like
And then, of course,
this
you can buy these sweet.
because I want to come back
They're not
later
sweet at
for
all.
it.
You can buy these
Save,
beef liver,
and I'll put
frozen
this in my watch
beef
later.
liver steak is 1 serving for this
And
recipe.
then I
There's
wanna
2 beef
see-
livers in here that I cut up, they're already frozen, and I'll just throw those in with the meat. And
So
then, of
let's
course,
go.
you need rice. You can use brown rice or white rice. We were using white rice for a while because we had it in the house.
Oh, she has crazy eyes in there. I'm gonna say wearing a hoodie. I'm gonna say long sleeve shirt. How about long sleeve sweatshirt? Oh, that dentist murder. That's so sad. Oh, I do not want to see the youngest. Wait, you know who I want to see? There's that one guy. Like, That was her ex-husband from 10 years ago? What in the world? Too disturbing to make it to Netflix. Not for me to watch. Nope. Nope. So Bailey, what's her name? She does Murder Mystery Mondays. She has some good. Suspicious deaths and unanswered questions. Who is Kelly Cochran? The Nightmare in Georgia, why the twins targeted their own mother. Aww. It says Bailey's 5-hour fire in. Oh, that's from her house then? Well, that's pretty cool. A TV ambush. Oh, we don't need anything like that. Alright, Bailey seems to have some good stories, but I don't know. I don't really want anything like that. I have a gnat flying around. Maybe we're just gonna Sales from the Crypt. Oh yeah, did you hear about that guy? Ugh. So gross. He's in PA, running around stealing like old dead bodies, like from decades and stuff. So nasty. Oh, she has no body. This would have been cool if she would have had a body. That's so gross. Where's her body? And look at her face. She looks crazy. She looks crazy. Alright, so the shirt, this is like if we could have pants. Could she like have a body? How about if I say sweatshirt, jeans, and sneakers? Because that way he'll put legs on it. Taking pictures of clothing to list for sale. The room is a reseller's room with homey touches. Home touches. And I'm going to say reseller items, items packed for shipping, a desk, and the coffee mug from the referenced image on the desk. Let's see if we can get her with a bottom half. That's so gross. We're watching all these things. Little dust puppies. Little dust puppies. Oh, that's cute. That's adorable. That's adorable. Alright, well, we're just going to listen to Coach Colin. I have to put that on my list now. I am Coach Colin. Oops. Look at my fingers are in the wrong spot. So if I have to do something with I am Coach Colin, I do it like his whoop whoop. Like, how does he do that? Let's watch. Let's see how he does it.
Doodle 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 doodle. There it is.
Dude, see? Hi,
Let's
Coach
get
Colin.
into it. It is the night shift. What is going on? Vampires and vampirettes, night walkers.
Oh, this is a good one. We like
What
this
is
one.
going on, man?
Look at
Candace
her.
just went live.
She has
Interesting
legs.
episode. She talked about someone Well, first off, just casually mentions technology to see into the future just as she leaves. Just casually, like, well, you know, we're going to touch on it a little bit tomorrow, but, you know, it's possible to see into the future with certain technology. What? Huh? Wait, hold on. Wait, just 4 more minutes. Hold on. Where are you going? And that's it. I'll just see you tomorrow.
He's funny. He's
That's what you
hilarious.
leave us on? That was crazy. I was shocked. I've heard of what she's talking about before, but there's other things as well. It's right up my alley. I've done a lot of research into this type of stuff, but I never thought I'd heard it. I'm always shocked when she talks about, like, you know, Mortal Kombat Ultra. When she talks about stuff like that, I'm like, oh. And you know what's funny?
So when he says Mortal
She has
Kombat,
this
it's
way
like
about her,
MK Ultra.
where you think she's not going to talk about stuff like that, and then she does. And Charlie was like that too. There were some interviews with Charlie where you could tell he goes deeper. I mean, I got to take back everything I said about Brian Harpole. She was really an angel. There she is. There she is. She has the Altoids on her, man. Has the wings and everything. Guys, we have to reconsider what Brian Harpole has been saying. This makes his whole alibi check out. In my opinion, there was really an angel handing out mints, Altoids no less. I mean, what are we talking about here? I owe him an apology. I mean, if anybody has contact with this man, you know, maybe
He does these
somebody can
mint
arrange
rants.
I can jump in the Wayback Machine, go back to before I said all this thing about Brian. Something, you know? Help me out here, guys. But these memes are ridiculous. This one I actually busted out laughing just by myself. And I can't take this. Here's the thing about this. I can't turn to my wife and say, oh, honey, look at this. Because she's going to be like, what the hell is this? It's a lady with wings, and it says free mints on her chest.
What the hell?
She has
Wait.
a pack of Altoids. And I'll just be like, oh, you know, it's
What?
It's actually so funny. She'll be like, what are you talking about? I gotta explain some stuff here. Seeing into the future. The one thing I thought she was
Generative
talking about, I didn't
upscale.
realize. I had to watch it again.
What
She's
is
talking about
generative
glass, right?
upscale?
It's not what it's called. It's called, you know,
Adobe,
but she's talking about that. That's a real thing.
Photoshop,
That's a real thing. And it makes perfect sense because they were looking into. I told you about Austin,
Upscale?
right?
There we
I told you
go.
about Mortal Kombat Ultra. I mean, they were trying some wild things. They tried remote viewing. The agency, they tried remote viewing for 30 years. If you don't know what remote viewing is, it's basically it would be like, it's a type of like psychic ability where if I'm in this room and I'm holding my phone, it would basically be like,
No, I
what is
don't
the
need them
time
to
on
do
my
anything.
phone? Somebody else would be in another room, and they would close their eyes, and they would pretty much try to. What happens essentially is, they go to that other room, but like spiritually. They remove themselves from their body and go to another place and look at my phone and tell me exactly what's on my phone, tell me what I'm wearing, everything like that. They were, and that sounds crazy, right? They were looking into
No, there
that
was
for
a
30
movie
years.
with that one
And
guy
a lot
who
of
went
people can do
crazy.
it, and they do it really well. So it's not out of the question that this look glass future thing would be on the table, right? Especially when she brings up it was stolen technology, you know, from the, I think she said Sumerians, I think she said, which is really, I mean, like, in my mind, and listen, this is a deep conversation. When people say it's from the Sumerians and the ancient Egyptians, that stuff, that technology, and even today with UAPs and UFOs and all that stuff is from an unseen realm that we can't see, that is around us all the time, and they're essentially getting technology from demons. I'm just saying, I won't go into it, I'll leave it there, but that's what's happening. It's not like, oh, they were so smart and they had this technology. They were, the occult didn't start when Aleister Crowley started. The occult's been going on for thousands of years. People have been trying to access different places, interact with demons, get access to technology. People have been doing this for a long time. Jack Parsons, Aleister Crowley, L. Ron Hubbard, I mean, Nikola Tesla. The list goes on and on. Even engineers who are building AI today are invested in that.
All right, let's go finish listening to Jesse. Didn't Jesse? There's Valhalla. I like Valhalla, but his language isn't for my stream. Like, I listen to him personally and I laugh because he's great, but I don't talk like that, so I don't want to have to put an adult rating on my thing because of somebody else's language. But he's great, and no, not criticizing him at all. He's great. Anyway, we're gonna go back to Clutch Collins.
That type of thing. The military. I mean, it goes on and on. So, the fact that she brought it up, pretty cool. Also, I thought of this thing, which is the chronovisor. You know what the chronovisor is? It's said to be in the Vatican. And it's basically the same thing. It's this technology where they have a screen and they can see into the future and they can see into the past. And nobody knows if it's real because it's in the Vatican archive. And the Vatican archive is
Oh, there we
massive,
go. This is a better
nobody's
color.
allowed in there. And the only way you're allowed in there is if you're a professor and you get a letter of recommendation and they let you in. That's the only way. And the only way that you're allowed to do that is if you can give them a clear description of what it is that you want to see. But nobody knows what's in there. So how do you do it? Doesn't make any sense because they don't want you in there. Anyway, that's as crazy as it's going to get for this episode. My apologies. Let's move on. This whole
He
lawsuit-
said, let's move on.
A court petition was filed challenging the last will and testament and trust of a man named Alton C. Jennings, okay? Alton died at 95 years old. He had a very long life.
Reseller
Per
chat.
the lawsuit, these are still just allegations. Per the lawsuit, Alton began showing signs of cognitive decline in 2020. And at that time, a year later, rather, in 2021, he hired a caretaker. That caretaker's name is Mitch Manley Sr. Okay, so you're thinking, Grandpa now has a caretaker. We're good. I should tell you this lawsuit was filed by his grandson. In this lawsuit, the grandson alleges that thereafter, Mitch Manley Sr. isolated his declining grandfather from his friends, from his family, and he seized control of his finances. Now, I should now tell you that Mitch Manley's son, so Mitch Manley's the caretaker, his son is Mitch Manley Jr., who was working for Turning Point USA at this time. He's actually working on Charlie Kirk's show. His dad's taking care of this old man who's in cognitive decline, and here we go. The son is working for Turning Point USA, and would you believe it, lo and behold, when the elderly man died, less than 3 years later, at the age of 95, the family discovered that he had changed his will. He changed his will in November of 2023. So for clarity, just 4 months before this man died at the age of 95, he moved to change his will. You'll never guess who he decided to leave his estate to. The estate, which was valued at $25 million, he left it, split it, amongst Turning Point Action, headed up by none other than Tyler Boyer. Ta-da! And, yeah. What can I say, guys? Brenda.
That is weird. That is very weird. Now, I couldn't find anything on this lawsuit, but I did see that in the corner she had something that said Arizona Right Watch. Let's just put Turning Point lawsuit. 25 million. That's very odd. But the first question that comes to mind when it comes to this whole thing is, did Charlie know? See, it's coming up with nothing. What do you mean? Show me Arizona Right Watch. Show me the website. You're not even going to show me the website. This is ridiculous. Hold on a second. You have to show me the website. AI is so co-opted, you know? Won't do anything for you. It's ridiculous. Won't even show. Oh, there it is. Boom. That's a Substack. Come on. Either way, I couldn't find much on that lawsuit. Maybe there's a little something there. But the question that really pops up in my mind...
All right, hold on. I can't listen to what you're saying because I'm thinking. So we're going to try to find something that is... Oh, that's me. White hats. Yeah, he's kind of... All right, boom. Let's... Cat purring. Free garden. What happens when you plant potatoes in cardboard boxes? I don't buy bread. I learned this trick in an Italian restaurant. You know, I was called BS on, I learned this from my grandmother. And some of them have to be real, but other ones just seem so not real. I could eat this ground beef and cabbage. Okay, we'll watch ground beef and cabbage.
I'm starting by heating 2 tablespoons of olive oil over medium-high heat.
All right, so it's some sort of
Hello,
AI
everyone.
voice.
Welcome.
Is it an AI voice?
I'm starting by heating 2 tablespoons of olive oil over medium-high heat. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pure Delicious.
Is that what's on here? Huh. So this is the pond view, and that's the trough view. All right, I'm just going to leave this on so I can concentrate. So I want to ask if we've had a champ sighting. Can anyone tell me if this buck with the antlers way back at 0936 hours has a name? Shadow. Okay, yeah, I like this image. So we're going to download this and we're probably going to use this for a lot of stuff. This one's perfect. No, don't replace that. Let's just throw a few characters, boom. And then we're going to save. There we go. I like this one. Ah, perfect. I always roll up my pants. It's perfect. Okay. I think I have all my whatnot. So we're going to take this and we're going to use this image for a couple of shows. I really like this one. All right. So how many credits do I have? I should have like, oh, I have 3,100 left, so I'm okay. All right, so that's perfect. And I save that. I like this. Okay. Oh, what's my mouth doing open? Hey, oh, I see. Okay. So everything is good. Boom, get out of there. Alright, so I have to remember to email those to myself. And I need to put the deer links on there. Okay. And that is my time to end, because I go to bed really early. I usually do. I try to. Okay. I'm going to go to bed because I'm going to get up at 4:44 tomorrow. I'm going to tape up with some tape. Try try to get my leg back in shape so I can get back on the mats. Ask me about jiu-jitsu tomorrow. But right now, I'm going to sleep and I'm going to work out in the morning. Back to my 444. That's what I used to do when I was at jiu-jitsu. And I've been off injured for a couple of months, so I'm going to try to get back on that schedule because I'm returning shortly. As soon as I can figure out the whole K-tape thing. KT tape. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go. Thank you. And everything says I'm supposed to say like, follow, whatever. Whatever. Okay, talk to you later. And I have to sign off of YouTube first.